Welcome. My name is Shalonda Spencer, and I'm proud to serve as the Executive Director of WCAPS. Today marks 1 year since WCAPS published the Standing Together Against Racism and Discrimination Solidarity Statement. 1 year of combating racist beliefs, attitudes, and acts of discrimination, and working toward diversity as organizations, individuals in the peace and security, foreign policy, and national security field. In that time, OrgsinSolidarity partnerships has grown to more than 300 individuals and organizations. As ever, we strive to create a space for collaboration and to empower our partners to bring change. This following video will highlight the progress some of our partners from across the field has made over the last year. Though we would like to include every organization and individual who has contributed to our work, we recognize their dedication. The challenges we face are large, and progress is not easily won. So today, we celebrate the strides made. Tomorrow, we redouble our efforts. Onward. Thank you.
Working with organizations in solidarity has helped the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists sustain its focus on dismantling structural racism within our own organization, as well as our field of science writing and peace and security. Since joining OIS, we've undergone our own diversity training programs, created and gotten board approval for a Bulletin statement and policy on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and amplified OIS statements, which have been poignant and very important. Perhaps most importantly, the Bulletin is partnering with OIS on a new Board Fellows program that we will announce in September, along with the new Editorial Fellows program, both of which are created to advance our DEI initiatives. We have a long way to go at the Bulletin, but OIS is helping us to be creative, to stay motivated, and most importantly, to stay focused. We are very grateful for the work that OIS is doing and thankful for the leadership that it is showing.
Foreign Policy for America is committed to addressing racism and the structural challenges that enable it to persist, and this series is one contribution to that effort. By identifying and describing the patterns of systemic racism and spotlighting its consequences, our goal is to call attention to the moral and strategic importance of rejecting racial discrimination in all its forms, and to inspire each of us to think a little bit more about how race affects our work.
Hello, my name is Princess Bazley-Bethea, Interactions Director for the Together Project in Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. I'm happy to join today to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the OrgsinSolidarity Statement. Over the past year, Interaction has taken steps to enhance and promote diversity, equity, and inclusion internally within our own organization and also externally for our coalition membership. As a membership alliance of nearly 170 US-based NGOs, we've started this year with creating a Coalition DEI Task Force. The Coalition DEI Task Force is a group of members who have come together across our organization to create a collective DEI approach to launch back out into our coalition. They have taken steps to unpack DEI concerns across a number of areas of focus. They will also do a deep dive into the research, knowledge, and efforts that are already in place around those areas of focus, and then create an approach that will be launched back out into our coalition for organizations to sign on to and to have accountability as we continue this work. Thank you again to WCAPS and all of the members of the OrgsinSolidarity Statement Group. We look forward to continuing this work together for many years to come.
My name is Lindsay Rodman, and I am the Executive Director of the Leadership Council for Women in National Security, also known as LCWINS. When George Floyd was murdered in 2020, we were not sure of the appropriate role for LCWINS. Piling onto other statements did not feel right, but we could not ignore this important national moment. Instead, we joined in on the ground floor of the OrgsinSolidarity movement and looked inward We drafted an LCWINS action plan for 2020, published on our website, that tied metrics for racial inclusion to every single one of our LCWINS initiatives. I'm very proud that we hit every milestone in 2020, and we've published a new LCWINS action plan for 2021 with metrics associated with our new initiatives. OrgsinSolidarity has also enabled us to work in coalition with other organizations to improve representation within LCWINS and across our broader community. I have the great honor of also leading our Leadership and Diversity Initiative within the OrgsinSolidarity movement. I'm so proud of LCWINS and the OrgsinSolidarity Coalition for the work that we've accomplished in just one short year. But the real work still lies before us.
Hey, this is Christine, representing Peacedirect in the OrgsinSolidarity group. In November 2020, Peacedirect, alongside Adesso, Alliance for Peacebuilding, and Women of Color Advancing Peace and Security, held a 3-day online consultation with 158 activists, decision makers, journalists, academics, and practitioners across the globe. We invited them to share their experiences on the current power dynamics and imbalances that exist in the humanitarian, development, and peacebuilding sectors. The findings and recommendations in this consultation can be found in our Time to Decolonize Aid report released this past May. This report is just the beginning of a larger conversation Peacedirect plans to have, with more future in-depth discussions that hone in on specific issues and themes brought up by these local practitioners.
Hi, my name is Jeff Carter. I'm the Executive Director of Physicians for Social Responsibility. Now, at PSR, diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice has been one of our major priorities for several years now, but it really accelerated after the George Floyd murder in 2020. So at PSR, our entire staff has been involved in drafting a racial justice action plan. We started that work last summer. We put it into operation this year. It touches every aspect of our operation. For example, each of our programs now includes assessments of potential impacts on communities of color, and we're going to be explicitly incorporating racial justice goals or objectives into our program planning later this year. We've also made diversity a priority in hiring, and we've been really successful, I'm glad to say. And here's the thing, all of this work, I hope it's made us a better organization, but I also know for sure it's made us a stronger organization. And I really have to credit Organizations in Solidarity and its staff and OIS members for creating such a strong, supportive network as we at PSR work to turn our commitments into more concrete action. This can be tough work, and this partnership has strengthened us in many ways. So again, I'm very grateful to OIS and to OIS members for holding all of us accountable for turning our words into action. Thank you.
I'm Raul.
And I'm Michelle Dover. Raul and I work at Ploughshares Fund, a public foundation dedicated to eliminating nuclear threats.
Working with OrgsinSolidarity helped us here at Ploughshares Fund as we expanded and deepened our diversity initiative. The partners, ideas, and places for sharing that OrgsinSolidarity created have been critical as we figure out what conversations we need to have in our organization, with other networks, and on our podcast, and how we can take concrete actions.
For me, OrgsinSolidarity has been more than a pledge, more than a goal. Over the past year, it has been a place where we share ideas and help each other carry out the work we've committed to. Accountability baked into our community. Thank you to women of color advancing peace, security, and conflict transformation for starting this important initiative.
Before the murder of George Floyd, staff at the Stanley Center called on leadership to increasingly engage in focused diversity, equity, and inclusion work. In the tragic pivotal moment 1 year ago, we knew words acknowledging George Floyd's murder were not going to be enough. That the efforts, self-education, and introspection we had underway needed to be coupled with more meaningful action. The 12 organizations and solidarity commitments offered the structure, guidance, and accountability for the ways we needed to use our organizational privilege to be part of the solution, to challenge the systemic nature of racism in the field. We have and continue to incorporate these commitments into our structure, culture, and work. This fall, we will partner with WCAPS on our Strategy for Peace conference to explore the systemic nature of racism and global policymaking around climate change, nuclear weapons, and mass violence and atrocities. Thanks to the leadership of WCAPS and Organizations in Solidarity, we know what we have to do for ourselves and the peace and security field, and that it's up to us to turn that spark into meaningful change.
Hello, I'm Leslie Edmond with the United Nations Foundation, and this has been an extraordinary year for us here at UNF. Organizations in Solidarity has provided an opportunity for some true collective partnership to address diversity, equity, and inclusion within UNF while building a platform to educate and to guide others. It has been sheer genius to maximize our efforts through a collaborative approach where we can all benefit from the results. Combating inequities by building DEI initiatives requires challenging organizational systems and structures. Pulling together leaders from all levels of these groups to share their best practices, to troubleshoot ideas, and to convene with others who share our commitment and desire for positive change has been so refreshing. This is not easy work, but the establishment of an entity designed solely to support intentional transformation has been amazing. I am so excited to be a part of this team, and I am equally excited about what the next year has in store for us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ambassador Bonnie Jenkins, and I am the former Executive Director for Women of Color Advancing Peace, Security, and Conflict Transformation, and also the founder of OrgsinSolidarity, working very closely with my colleagues, Maher Ekremi, and the rest of my wonderful staff at WCAPS. And I just want to say it's great that we have this 1-year anniversary for OrgsinSolidarity. I really want to thank all of the organizations that have been a part of this effort from its beginning, starting a year ago, following the George Floyd killing, and want to reiterate how important it is that all of us continue to work hard to sustain the work that we're trying to do to prevent racism and discrimination in our workplaces. I want to thank all of those who submitted videos for this to talk about the work that they've been doing in their own organizations. And, even while I'm not officially part of WCAPS anymore or OrgsinSolidarity, I still plan to be very involved in helping to ensure that we sustain the work that we have started through OrgsinSolidarity to reduce racism and discrimination. So thanks again for all of you who submitted videos. Thanks to those of you who are part of this effort. And we will continue to work together to make this a much better and more accepted and inclusive workplaces that we are in. Thank you very much.